Alright guys, Hugh Ottawa Scotty here. Take a quick walk. Wait for some of you to trickle into the chat here. Turning back, Hugh G. Bushman 613. G'day, Steve Robitaille. Hey, from Pembroke. Big up Pembroke in the house. One of my favorite towns. Hanging with you, Ottawa Scotty, here on your Saturday afternoon. This is a very impromptu live stream. Jayla actually took a last minute, and by last minute I mean didn't know she was even playing gig down here, so I've driven her downtown. She's playing right now just around the corner here, and so I got to pick her up at 4:45, and then we're off to Calabogie tonight. Now, for those of you that tune in to my live streams for the music, stuff like that, I'm not sure if we're going to have any live stream tonight because we're going to be way up in the mountains in Calabogie. I don't know if I'm going to have reception up there, so there may be no live stream for Table 19 tonight, but we'll see. Sandy V. We got Bushman 613. We got Northern Farm Girl, a great moderator here. Jayla's just around the corner, singing and playing. Had to pull the van right in here. It was kind of tricky. You can hear. Let's listen carefully. You can hear. There she is. There's Jayla. This is the Clock Tower Brew Pub. There she is, right there. Someone come save my life. Everybody say hello to Jayla. All right, let's keep moving here. So the purpose of this live stream is not really anything to do with music. We're anxious to catch up with the United Peoples of Canada. So we're on our way down to St. Patrick's Street to catch up with the guys. So it should be interesting. There's a article in the paper today that says that they're actually going to be able to stay. Okay, we're going to go hang out at the church. Let's get across the street here. Now, for those people that are concerned about the United Peoples of Canada, which I don't really see why anybody would be concerned about them. They're not really doing anything, not really causing anybody any harm. But this area, Ottawa, it seems to me, is really crumbling. I think it's unraveling. It just seems to be you see, there's a cruiser over here. I was walking. They probably arrested that woman that was in Dunn's maybe about 15 minutes ago. This is a rough area. It's not safe down here, guys. And Yeah, I've been here all my life, and it's just in the last... What? Go! Mean mugging me. Oh yeah. Yeah, this place kind of sucks down here, guys. A lot of drugs, a lot of problems down here now, and it never used to be like this, but it's getting really, really, really bad. Like, Jayla and I were down here the other night, and it was scary. You guys know me. I don't get spooked easily, but it was scary. There's basically people hiding in every corner down here, just shooting up, doing drugs or whatever. Huge problem. Nobody seems to care about what's happening here. So I think what I'm gonna do, start out with a little letter to the counselor of this ward, and see if anybody cares what's going on down here. It's really bad. We're in the middle of the day, and you know, I've already experienced multiple confrontations, all of it. So I don't know if there's any viewers there here that are concerned about the United Peoples of Canada, but believe me, guys, that is not even an issue down here right now. All right, we're gonna have some fun though. We're gonna have some fun today. All right, for those of you just joining us, we are on our way to the St. Bridget's Church, or the United Peoples of Canada Embassy. It was supposed to rain today, and it's turned out to be just a beautiful day. It's really hot, and we're gonna go catch up with the guys at the church, the embassy. Let's maybe go through this parking garage here. And thanks for joining us, and thanks for Northern Farm Girl for jumping on last minute onto this stream, moderating this stream. Big help. And once again, if you were Table 19 viewers, we may or may not be able to live stream tonight. We'll see. Let's check this chat section here. We got Drunk Vigo. We got James Meacher. We got Northern Farm Girl. Mima Flowers. We're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna try and keep the mood light and fun. We're gonna catch up with everybody at the church here, see what they've been up to. Been a lot of there she is right there. There's been a lot of talk with regards to the embassy. Let's go around. Let's go around this way. Go in the front way. Don't want to startle them. Casey Wills says, oh, I lost you there. Andy Heinrich says, didn't know you in Kingston last night. I was 5 minutes away. Yeah, we were in Kingston playing a wedding. Beautiful town Kingston is. Oh my God. What a gorgeous, gorgeous town. Lots of touristy stuff to do in Kingston. So I hope to revisit Kingston and do all the touristy stuff. James Meacher says good burgers at Chez Lucien, the bar we just passed here. One of the oldest bars in the ByWard market. Drunk Vigo says lots of pretty girls were dancing for you last night, brother. Definitely some attractive girls, but none more attractive than Jayla. Jayla, number one. All right, there's the church right there. We're almost here. Northern Farm Girl says Jayla the Queen. Rooster Cogburn says, why does it look so white there? I don't know what that means. But Primo Living BC, good to see you. Good to see you, Primo Living BC. JCBU Undercover. So sent a letter to Sylvester Stallone about you. Guys, I gotta show you my shirts. I don't know if you saw my video about my screen printing stuff. Made my own shirts last week. What do you guys think? That was my first try at screen printing. And with the old 3rd gen right up on the 6th, and feeling great about it. I'm gonna have merch available very soon. And the great thing about it is that if you guys buy a t-shirt from me, you're gonna know that I made it personally myself. So that's kind of a cool thing. So here we are. Police parked right out front here. A couple cruisers. Nima Flower says, dig it. Got a couple cruisers up front here. I guess just keeping the peace, I don't know. And here we are. This beautiful building. We got a notice on the front that says, let's go read that. It says, no trespassing. It says no trespassing. There's some chalk messages here. This one says, love wins. Looks like something was there previously, which has been scratched out. And over here we have love wins as well. Love always wins, guys. Love always wins. So let's go check out some of the people here. Somebody's sleeping in a pink flamingo. Hey guys, hey man. Good to see you again. Good to see you, yeah. Right on. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes. Yeah, man. All right, so we got all the guys hanging out in the garage here. And beautiful day. What's your name, brother?
Alex.
Alex?
Green Thumb, Mr. Green Thumb, Ottawa.
Okay, do you want to give a shout out here on my live stream?
Not really.
Okay, cool. No problem. I just like to ask because some people don't like
no, I get it. Like, I know you're a YouTuber. I've been watching most of your, 90% of your show.
Okay.
I commented on.
Oh, right on. So you're Green Thumb.
Mr. Green Thumb.
Mr. Green Thumb. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, it's good to finally...
The medical patient that keep on growing and can't do nothing with it.
Okay. Well, it's good to finally meet you in person.
Yeah.
Right on.
I'm a cannabis activist.
Okay. Right on.
Coalition of
cannabis
connoisseur kind of.
Right on.
We all have license, but we're not allowed to do anything in the city with it. Yeah. And technically, for 3 years, I was under eviction because I'm growing. We beat that out of court. But now it's like it's so much in limbo that our landlord won't talk to us anymore.
So you did win it in court though?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The LTB couldn't touch it, but the like we can't do any repair in the house or anything. Like like
hey, film each other while we have a nice chat.
Sure. What's
also,
up?
I'm James, by the way. It's really nice to finally meet you.
Cool.
And well, I think we might have met at some points along here.
He wants to be on.
Okay.
Well, I joined Veterans for Freedom
at
the beginning of July because I retired at the ripe old age of 30.
From the military?
Because I wouldn't follow CDS Directive 002.
Okay.
So that was the directive from the Chief of Defense Staff that came down telling all military members that they had to be vaccinated in order to stay in the military. And I've went to the rally in the Valley in Pembroke. I've
Okay.
spoken at a few other places. I did one of the marches they do there on Parliament Hill. But I think it was great watching. You were doing stuff during the convoy. You were here with lots of live streams, and this is why it's actually really great to see you for the first time, because I was watching a lot of your live streams while I was still in, as was a lot of military members were watching you.
Really?
And like, this is something, again, like, it's great to have this opportunity to meet face to face, because also I know you have a pretty good viewer base. Hi everybody. I'm trying to, shameless plug here. I am James Formosa. You can find me at James Formosa at YouTube, or just the Veterans for Freedom YouTube channel, where we've been doing a lot of videos.
Yeah.
One of the first videos I actually did with Veterans for Freedom on their podcast was it's about an hour-long episode where I showed one of the classes I gave to my troops. So I was a troop commander in Shiloh. I retired as a captain, and as a troop commander, one of my responsibilities was actually coming up with the weekly training schedule for my soldiers. So, should rewind a little bit here.
Sure.
Before I got into the military, I got my bachelor's and my master's degree. For my bachelor's, I got an undergrad double major in history and philosophy. And my history degree, I was like particularly interested in the history of the Soviet Union. And then when I got my master's in philosophy, I specialized in ethics. And you can probably see where this is going, that it wouldn't bode very well for me in the current military organization.
Yeah.
So for the better part of the last year and a half, I was writing to my chain of command and to NDHQ in Ottawa, telling them how, even before the mandate came down, that I was concerned that we were about to set ourselves up for failure and discrimination and segregation in the CAF, with a lot of course, negative pushback and results. So when I was actually released on July 5th, so they released me on July 5th, yet the thing they released me for is not following CDS Directive 002, which was suspended June 14th. So
sorry, say that again. So you were let go. So June 14th was.
June 14th is the date that they suspended CDS Directive 002. So that's the rule from the Chief of Defense Staff saying you have to be double vaccinated.
So that is now suspended.
It has been suspended. It was suspended on the 14th, but they released me anyway. I've been contacted by several members across the country now that are still in, but they're still trying to force them out. Basically saying, you broke this rule back when it was a rule, even though it's not a rule now, so still you need to get out. Even though the new rule that, again, CDS Directive 002 should be superseded by 003, that has not come out yet. As soon as that does, it sort of nullifies the old one. But in the meantime, they're still in this weird limbo gray area trying to push out as many of us as possible. I also submitted a religious exemption request, which was denied, along with many other people that were also denied. And I explained, I currently have a grievance sitting up on the CDS desk where I showed how they didn't treat me fairly even in this process, or anybody for that matter, and that they were violating both the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Canadian Human Rights Act under prohibited grounds of discrimination. And so on my release message, it says I was released 5F. That category means unsuitable for further service. It also means it's incredibly difficult to get any kind of government job ever in the future. And in my discharge, it's an honorable discharge, I might add, as well.
Okay. And
it says right in the paperwork, Captain Formosa is to be honorably discharged due to personal and or domestic problems within his control, and because he has become an excessive administrative burden to the Canadian Armed Forces. And the reason why I was such a burden is because I wrote probably several hundred pages between myself and Ottawa telling them how they were violating our own policies. For instance, for my part, if I may, the way that I tried to defend myself was by, I'm a Christian, it's probably not accurate to put me into a particular denominational bubble, let's just say, other than, like, I believe in the Bible, I believe in the salvation message of the gospel, and I also believe what the Bible says about the nature of our conscience. So I quoted scripture, I gave it to the chain of command. Already this is a weird, historically unprecedented thing where an artillery officer is explaining his theology to the chain of command for them to decide whether it's good enough or not to approve an accommodation for. And in there, I cited the book of James, Romans, a few other places where it describes what our conscience is according to the Bible. And according to the Bible, the conscience is the voice of the Holy Spirit. And that's why, if you do something wrong and you get the little, sometimes even just a whisper of a voice in your head letting you know you feel guilty, you maybe harmed someone, even if it was really pleasurable at the moment, like some hedonistic instant gratification thing, there's still something in us that convicts us. And so the Bible also says if you knowingly violate your conscience or do something when your conscience in a very sort of obvious way tells you it's wrong, essentially you are sinning against what God is trying to tell you, and that takes you out of his presence. And I told them, you can't force me to violate my conscience in this way.
Right.
And one of the main arguments they gave me, first of all, was like, well, this is an argument from conscience, not religion, even though I just told you and them what I believe about the metaphysical nature of what the conscience is. And that should also concern anybody viewing this in the sense that never before, this is again historically unprecedented, that the Army has decided in this one particular case that you as a soldier, your conscience doesn't matter. They even told us you can put in a medical exemption request, a religious exemption request. However, if you try to put in a request that purely just says this is my sincere personal belief or a matter of my conscience, they said don't even bother sending it in, we won't even entertain it. So they were very unequivocally clear that their soldiers' consciences did not matter when it came to this new, historically unprecedented event that has never taken place before in this manner. And so another thing that they as well said to me is that while they recognized the sincerity of my beliefs, they said, well, we can't approve an exemption for this because you haven't tied your belief to any corporate religious authority besides, of course, the authority of Scripture. So, like, yeah, the correct person in the right funny hat and robes didn't also say so, and all you're citing is the whole Bible.
Right.
Because apparently, and I know I'm at least I'm being honest about my bias here with you.
Yeah.
When I say that one of the problems with this is the fact that for a lot of folks, especially across all denominations of Christianity, all they really have to fall back on is God's word, because people are fallible, we make mistakes, myself included, of course, I'd have to admit that.
Yeah.
But similarly, think again how unprecedented this would be that the Army as an institution thinks they have the right to tell you what they consider to be an accepted religious authority.
Right.
Which would even be a problem if, like, what if the Army just came out, for instance, and said, we're only pro-Catholic, any Protestant or non-Catholic denomination Christians, we don't recognize your authority figures. And even if I would have brought...
That would be a big deal. Like, there would be,
And even if I brought in a religious figure, let's say like Archer Pawlowski or some of those churches where they never closed their doors, they never forced people to mask or anything like that, I could have probably reached out to them and gotten them to send a letter or something saying, like, yes, I agree with James's, like, my use of Scripture, what my theology is. But what would stop the military from then just saying, well, we don't recognize the authority of that guy in particular? However, and this is what's most damning for them, is the fact that the Army has something called the Defense Administrative Orders and Directives, and the DAODs are like the law that the whole Army has to follow. Everybody from the lowliest private to the Chief of Defense Staff himself has to follow the DAODs, and there's a specific section for religious and spiritual accommodation, and right in there in black and white it says any member that comes to the chain of command with a request to, like, I have a personal belief that I want to be accommodated for, it only has to be a sincere personal belief, and it says explicitly, the member's belief does not need to conform to any established religious tradition or authority figure. Yet the Brigadier General that I was dealing with in this grievance said, you haven't tied this to a corporate religious authority. So he, either knowingly or through his callous ignorance and lack of care for this issue, has decided that he doesn't have to follow their own policy in this regard. Sorry, that's just a little quick spiel from me.
No, look, I want to ask you a question. Okay, so you look like a really young guy. How old are you, James?
I was released on July 5th, the day after my 30th birthday.
Okay, so you're a young cat. You must have spent at least 6 years in university, and seemed like a very intelligent guy, very useful guy. I mean, how does it feel to? What is now after this experience? Well, I'm kind of jumping all over the place here.
I'm sorry, I know I jumped a lot on you.
Yeah, no, just kind of curious. Like, you had an interest in the military from a young age. Is that?
Yes.
Was it always your sort of quote dream, I guess, to say to be in the military? And
well, I had some ideas about it when I was really young.
Yeah.
But that's the police responding to some other call.
Yeah.
But a lot of kids, they grow up. I was playing with army men in the sand, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's not obviously as something as seriously as you take it upon yourself until maybe later in life. I actually was originally, from my teenage years, I wanted to stay in academia, as a matter of
Okay,
fact.
okay.
However, it was during the completion of my master's degree that I became disillusioned with academia.
Right,
Because by being in the liberal arts, this should come as probably not a lot of surprise to some of the viewers, but between 40 and 50% of my professors were openly avowed Marxists. And they, in a lot of their different classes,
Interesting.
they specifically talked about things that they would find ways to shoehorn in this idea that
Yes.
we cannot trust objective reality, and they wanted to make everything subjective. A lot of people may notice that it's only been roughly in the last 10 years where people started speaking in this kind of language of
Yeah.
what's true for you might not be true for me, and
Right.
you live your truth and I'll live my truth. And the real reason behind this, of course, is because they want to make reality wishy-washy and subjective so that they
Right.
can tell you what the facts are, what reality is, and paradoxically enough, that becomes the new orthodoxy. And if you don't obey this new reality they've constructed, you're the heretic. Like 1984, we've always been at war with Eurasia.
Yes, Eurasia, yeah.
And so as I was writing my master's thesis, actually I had to rewrite it like 5 or 6 versions for my supervisor. And so a lot of my original ideas gotten taken out of it. And I was kind of seeing the future of my academic career where if I even wanted to stay in, I would be forced to just parrot other ideas that people in positions of power above me wanted me to do and think and say. So of course I thought it'd be good to go to a traditionally conservative institution, and I joined the Trudeau Liberals Armed Forces. I say this because by the time
Yeah.
I joined the forces, it was
Okay.
2017.
Okay,
so I
I
was in
see.
just a little bit over 5 years, 5
Okay.
years into my initial 9-year contract.
Okay.
But I did plan on being in for 25, 30 years,
Yeah.
as long as my body held up.
Right. Look
And-
like a real, like you seem like you're in shape and a very useful young man.
Well, and as I was starting to, let's just say, act in accordance with my conscience and what I felt about this, even in the last year of my career especially, they tried to progressively, let's say, push me into the background. Like I was moved across a lot of batteries at my artillery regiment until they put me up in headquarters, where essentially what they did for the last 4 months of my career was give me a desk and a computer in an office in a broom closet somewhere to collect cobwebs, and they gave me no troops to command, no tasks, no responsibilities. They basically just said, show up for work on the times you're supposed to be here and don't cause any trouble or speak to too many people.
Let me ask you this. So you've been through the academia. You have some concerns about the direction of academia, and I think we're all very concerned about that as well, and have definitely some concerns about the military culture. How does this make you feel about Canada moving forward? I mean, someone like yourself that's invested a good amount of your time into academia and this country. I mean, you've served your country, right? And to be discharged like that, how does that make you feel? And I mean, what's the way forward here? I mean, what?
I was very concerned by it, of course, because I did have a lot of support from some of my peers and my subordinates.
I mean, there's a lot of you, right? I mean, I'm in the Convoy. I talked to a lot of people. I've heard this story that you're not the exact story, but I've heard this one.
Well,
many times.
When it comes to this particular mandate, it was anywhere between 12 and 1,300 of us that they were trying to force out.
And no restitution,
I got my payout as to whatever I already paid into my pension for the last 5 years, because I mean,
Yeah.
I did work for it.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a payout in terms of like they broke my 9-year contract at 5 years by saying it's my fault, of course. Yet the reason why I'm leaving is because I've been like shouting from the rooftops the entire time that this is a manifestly unlawful order. And as officers and NCOs, we have a moral responsibility not to follow orders that we have any reason to believe are manifestly unlawful. And I've attempted to explain to Ottawa and National Defence Headquarters why I believe that is the case, but of course it's falling on deaf ears.
So you've invested a lot of your time, and that's sort of a waste of time for you, isn't it? Sort of like, you know what I mean? I mean, there's no chance that you can get back into the military.
I don't see it as a waste of time, of course, in the sense that I appreciate the friendships and the bonds that were made while I was there. I got really great training. Certainly the military training when it comes to mental resilience is very valuable and worthwhile, especially in the times we're in now. And I do believe in a certain sense that it has, like everything that has happened in my life has been a pathway to lead me to this point, to have all these tools in my toolbox.
That's a great attitude to have.
But
It's a
right,
great
you say
attitude.
like it's possible with the new directive. Actually, it's not out yet, but we did receive a leaked copy around early July, which provides a weird sort of way for folks like myself to come back, because the new directive even says that they'll hire unvaccinated people after kicking all of us out. But if I wanted to come back in, it would be the Chief of Defense Staff himself that would have to sign a waiver approving me to come back in. And after this kind of stuff that I'm doing, I have a feeling he's not going to be interested in having me back.
Right.
And quite frankly, by being a first-hand witness to some of this, let's say, ideological possession and corruption in these higher echelons, and I say that with great sadness and unfortunately I've witnessed this to be the case, but there's no way to really put a band-aid over these bonds of trust that have been broken, short of a lot of these people at the higher echelons resigning in disgrace and admitting their wrongdoing, which again you may well imagine is a bit of a stretch to think that they'll actually do that. And so in the meantime, like I said, I've joined Veterans for Freedom.
Which is a great organization, by the way.
And I still have great support and help from my brothers and sisters there, and it's a great opportunity for me to tell the Canadian people again some of the really important things that they otherwise wouldn't know about. For instance, like we mentioned a bit earlier, I gave a class to my soldiers because I could make their training schedule, and I made a PowerPoint slide presentation on Yuri Bezmenov and the 4 stages of Soviet subversion: demoralization, destabilization, crisis, and normalization. And I explained to them how since the 1980s, according to Bezmenov's own words, as an ex-KGB defected agent, this is how Marxism was going to, let's say, invade our institutions and infect our culture. And so I gave that to actually 2 different troops, so about 80 to 100 soldiers. And after I gave it to the second troop, my immediate superior, a major, told me I was giving my troops irrelevant training.
So you were like reprimanded for...
Yeah, for giving them irrelevant training in today's day and age, right? So also... Another thing that would be really important for you folks to know, because I mentioned when we first started talking how I was watching your live streams in Convoy, there was a reason why I had so much free time to watch your live streams. After this Christmas break that just happened, there was something strange going on in Ottawa in January. And there was also something strange going on at all the combat arms bases across the country, and this is something that a lot of people don't know about. So we were supposed to come back, all of us soldiers at my regiment, after the first week of January, back from Christmas break, and we got the word down from the division commander in Edmonton, so he's in charge of like most of the western region, so like Manitoba all the way out to BC, and the message we got, and it trickled down to me and then I give it to my troops, is, hey, heads up, you're going to work from home this week. In other words, stay at home, eat Doritos, play video games, don't get in any trouble, and don't talk to each other. I'm adding that little extra emphasis, but at least I'm open about my biases. The thing that happened though is we stayed working at home, so mostly just doing whatever we want. I was watching a lot of your live streams. At the end of that first week, like the final hour, late on a Friday afternoon, we get the message, hey, you're going to work from home again next week, all week. After the end of week 2, what do you think happened at the end of Friday?
Work from home.
You're going to work from home again. We were on essentially almost like an extra month of Christmas vacation, and me and my soldiers didn't get back to our regiment until roughly around the time that they were actually repealing the Emergencies Act. And I thought that this was just a Western thing, but I've now, since, as I've been sharing this with other places, now that I'm out, I've heard feedback from other combat arms bases around the country where they were all getting that same message, telling all their soldiers simply to not come into work. So whether the Canadian people know it or not, the vast majority of your regular force, like Monday to Friday day job soldiers, were not going to work for the majority of the convoy. And I think part of the trepidation or the concern about this, and I'm, again, in the interest of full transparency, this is just my personal assessment of this. I have a feeling that part of the problem that was being considered by Ottawa was actually how much the regular rank and file soldiers, the privates, corporals, sergeants, and the junior officers like myself.
I see what you're saying.
We're not against the people, and like some of my soldiers even talked to me in that way, where they said like, "Hey, when are we going to put a Canadian flag on the side of the lav and go join the barbecue?" And some of us, or they were even just wondering why isn't the CDS calling us in? And I believe the CDS was terrified of having any people in camouflage there in Ottawa, because you very likely would have seen folks in uniform playing with kids at the bouncy castles and flipping burgers at the barbecue, because again, when it speaks to this idea of a silent majority rather than a fringe minority, the vast majority of regular serving men and women would not, according to their conscience, would not be able to violate it and then do some of the things that we eventually saw the Ottawa Police Service doing. So it was too much of a can of worms for the government to open. So
Right.
they thought it better to just have us all bury our heads in the sand or go hide at home for over a month and
Interesting.
not pay much attention to it. Because of course, even as myself and all the troops got back to work towards the tail end of everything, that was like the hot button issue. Everybody was talking about it at work.
Seems
of
to be
course.
still a hot button issue.
As very clearly, it's still on a lot of people's minds, and it's one thing that does give me, like you were mentioning, what I think going forward, it gives me a bit of hope, at least in the sense that right now, besides a lot of these, let's say, people that are really gung-ho about just following policy for its own sake without much delving into the consequences, let's say, or the implications, they actually only make up a few of those, people in important positions, the yes men and women who will just go along with things to advance their career. But they are outnumbered in a certain real sense by just, again, the numbers of boots on the ground people. Like, I was a captain, troop commander, but there's only one of me for 40 soldiers I command.
Right.
And so when you look at that as like a pyramid or the hierarchy of the command structure in the military, there's this big base of the pyramid, which is all the regular folks with families that have probably been affected by lockdowns and mandates and you name it, or they know folks like me that were persecuted for calling out something that we saw as unlawful. It even included some folks we're losing in the military a lot of our more experienced folks, senior NCOs like sergeants and warrant officers, because a lot of them handed in their VR, their voluntary release quitting paperwork, because of how they saw the way I was being treated, and people
Okay.
like me
Oh,
were being
really?
treated.
Okay,
And they
okay.
even put in their memo, like the first line of their memo, where you have to write to the chain of command saying, like, I want to quit and this is why. And the number one reason typically that they gave was, I've stayed consistent in my values and principles, but the institution is something that I no longer recognize and I can't in good conscience support you anymore.
Okay.
And that was like a decent chunk of them just from my regiment alone, not to even mention all these other places. And of course, it's kind of like the Principal Skinner meme, where they saw this and they said, no, it's the kids who are wrong. Clearly, it's not something we're doing with bad policy or bad direction. It must be just all of these people have something about them that now makes them unsuitable for the military. And that's one of the biggest messages I want to give to people, is that there are just a very few very ideologically motivated policy makers and the drivers of policy who want to, in no uncertain terms, at least by my understanding, we're witnessing the commission of a sort of an ideological purge from the military. So you're losing anyone and everyone that will stand firmly on the Charter, the Canadian Human Rights Act, or even the ethical principles that underlie the military itself. Because like the military has like the CAF Code of Ethics, and the first ethical principle in our Code of Ethics is respect the dignity of all persons. And I would say to you and your audience that you can't respect the dignity of a person if you can't respect their right to act in accordance with their conscience, or to say that their conscience even matters in some unquantifiable way. Like, I can't put a price on your conscience. It's like it's an intrinsic part of your value, and I'm dehumanizing you if I say you have no right to your conscience,
Yes.
which is exactly what happened to myself and all these other folks. And I even do this as a way of championing or defending the rights of my fellows I work with that don't share my particular religious beliefs.
Exactly.
Or
yeah.
if you're not religious at all, if you are a secular humanist, atheist, agnostic, whatever, they gave those folks no room whatsoever to advocate for themselves, besides trying to say, like, well, my conscience tells me that this is wrong and I have to follow my conscience. But they've already said, your conscience doesn't matter. And they tried to say that my religious argument was just a conscience argument, even though my whole theological, metaphysical conception is based in Scripture.
Yeah.
And this is me, like, I know it probably sounds like I am more versed in this now because I've had to kind of, by necessity, become more of a subject matter expert on these things. But I was dealing with folks who went to seminary. They have degrees in theologies or a master's in divinity,
Okay.
and they can't even contend with me on what I may say are like, sorry, but these are like basic Sunday school level non-denominational ideas. Like, they're not things that are difficult to get a grasp of or to understand. Even if you don't believe it, you can at least follow logically along. Like, I see the belief system and how it has implications for your actions and your behavior, but the real, the root of this problem, of course, is that they just don't like that. They don't like this. They don't like the idea that there could be people that, again, through their adherence and their uncompromising or unwavering adherence to their faith, will not do things that violate their conscience, and they're concerned about it violating the consciences of others. And that should be the gravest concern for anybody watching, that our military is trying to remove people with that kind of mindset.
Right.
Because then you can get just people that will do whatever they're told. And I said, courage is doing what's right regardless of what you're told, and mindless obedience is doing what you're told regardless of what's right.
Right, exactly. So, that's a lot to process.
Thank you for letting me hear this.
I got to watch this video back and sort of digest everything you're saying. And thank you so much for sharing your story. It's one that I've heard many times. I'm so sorry for what you're going through, but you know what? I have a feeling that this is going to work out for you. You're on a path. You're on a path right now. I can feel it, and things are going to work out. And anyways, it's a pleasure to meet you. So yeah, let's turn this camera around. Shot with James here, and so you're hanging out with Ottawa Scotty, and we're here with James
Formosa.
James Formosa.
Yeah,
and
please do find me, James Formosa, at YouTube and on Patreon if you're willing to support independent journalism with integrity, as well as my recent podcasts on the Veterans for Freedom YouTube channel. Thanks a lot.
Right on. Thank you so much. Hugs, James.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
Freedom, yeah. And I'm going to talk to... We're here to try and catch up with the Tupac people, so I'm happy I bumped into you. It's
great. It's a great
really,
opportunity.
So I think things seem to be going well here. So that's good to know. I'm going to see if some of these other people want to talk to, and then I got to pick up my girlfriend. My girlfriend's playing a show. Everybody. Thanks to James, and
Thank you guys so much.
I'll probably see you around.
Sounds good. And if you want to do something in the future, by all means, I'd be very happy to work with you.
Now we know each other. So you're on YouTube, right?
I am.
Okay, so what's your YouTube channel?
James Formosa.
James
Formosa. It's the old name for Taiwan from the 50s.
Okay. So you gotta check out your YouTube channel, James.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing, for your time, James. I really appreciate it. Hey, Chad, you wanna catch? Do you guys wanna catch up?
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. So you're hanging with Ottawa Scotty on your Saturday afternoon. We're having a really good time here. And look who it is! It's Rosie Convoy. Rosie's been up to a lot of things lately. Actually, you like. Okay. So
oh my God. Okay, sorry.
maybe should we start with this? What's this all about? I saw this on the front page of the Sun, and of course we have the Chad here.
Hello.
Chad is not missing, guys. He's not missing. He's still here. So can you explain what this is all about, Rosie? What's going on here? What's with this article? Rosie's road trip.
Yes.
And just for people that are just joining, you're on a road trip from BC.
From Kelowna, British Columbia. From
yeah.
The Okanagan.
And what brings you out here? Like, what made you drive across the country?
It's sheer frustration of not actually being here for Ottawa.
Okay.
For the convoy when it was here.
Okay.
And having to watch it live from all you guys. And watching, what happened in the end. And the frustration of not being here to help, I had to rectify that.
Okay, so Rosie drove all the way from Kelowna. This is her. When you first got here, Rosie and I, we met up on one of the first nights. I think, Rosie, you were here and tried to get you on the live stream. And
Yes.
and I didn't. I apologize. I didn't get you on the live stream. But now you're all over the place. You're all
Apparently.
over. Rosie's all over the country. You're in the newspaper
In my hometown this morning.
in Kelowna.
I got a screenshot, and now my brother's gonna go get a copy and my mom's gonna read it to my dad. And my dad, it's gonna mean a lot to him because he's part of my inspiration because he was a trucker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
So
tell us what is that road trip? What is in the Sun there? What was that all about? Can you just summarize it? Cole's notes.
just basically my experience, what happened on January 29th. A friend of mine had phoned me the night before and asked me if I wanted to go to a rally to support the truckers, and I kind of just heard that there was going to be a change in the mandates, and that it was going to be harder for they were going to have to quarantine leaving the border or be like more vaxxed, even though 80% of them were vaxxed.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so
I got you.
it was, the family was talking about it because I have a couple of brothers who are truckers. And so we were talking about it, and so my friend Angelina, she phoned me the night before and was like, hey, you know, do you want to go and do this with me tomorrow? Let's make some posters, show up early. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So the next morning I woke up and went to her place, and we taped little Canadian flags to her side view mirrors, and I painted a giant freedom in black paint down the side of her light blue car, and then same on the other side. And then I did a giant maple leaf on the hood of her car with like water-based dollar store paint.
Yeah.
And
So it kinda-
and I made posters, and we went, and it changed my life.
Right on.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they did. It's a life-changing moment for
did.
Rosie Convoy. And you guys are working on videos. Guys, there's a lot of work happening here. These guys are hard at work. We're not just sitting around here adoring our fleas in the sun.
Right.
We're working on videos and media, and got your, we got Kotab in the chat.
Hey,
Kotab.
Coda!
Hey, Koda.
Coda!
We got Koda there.
Hey, mwah, Planet Freedom. Go like and subscribe to Plan/It Freedom.
There you go.
Coda.
All right, so we got Koda Bear in the chat, and so you guys are working
Yes.
your laptops here. You got Raven Dark Media here. We got Chad. Chad, are you in this too? Are you helping with the
Are you
video?
still missing?
No, I'm not missing.
Are
I
you
have.
sure?
I'm positive.
Okay,
I'm
guys,
right here.
This is him. This is flesh and blood Chad. I can verify
So
this.
just to say,
He's solid,
I have,
he's-
been, I have been offline, as most people know, because, or they don't know, because obviously some have forgotten. Scotty, they need to pay attention to you more. Like, share, and subscribe, Scotty people. Come on.
And like, share, and subscribe.
Rosie Convoy.
Rosie Convoy and
ROSIE.
Like, share, and subscribe to Chad.
the Chad. He's not missing. He's solid all the way through.
Yeah.
Like that.
So tell us. Sorry, what were you saying?
So, as some people aren't aware, or maybe aware, my phone is still among the missing.
What happened?
Well, well, I have the phone. It's offline. It doesn't work.
Why doesn't it work?
What happened?
It got thrown in the sewer.
What?
Yeah.
So those
It
are
hasn't been replaced yet, but I may have a way to go live at some point, Living Skies. So it's in the works.
And for those of you who are just joining that don't know, Chad got his phone stomped on and thrown in the sewer. That's
Yeah.
by an angry,
Angry guy.
Angry maintenance man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them around here, aren't there?
Well,
a lot of.
it was the one on 2 occasions.
And it was also on mainstream telling the media that how to film in public.
Okay.
No.
Yes. After you were squirting them, remember?
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of my finest moments. No, seriously, because he was everybody was kind of around him in a half circle, and he was like being really angry. And,
Yeah.
And it was a lot of yelling back and forth, and I came around the front of his brown truck with a water gun, and I squirted him 4 or 5 times in the back.
Oh man.
So I was
And-
talking about media.
Oh, well, I was so proud of that moment.
Yeah.
Well, because the guy, in his anger, turned and was like, that's funny.
yeah.
I diffused it for a split second. I diffused the situation.
And you guys are like I think we should sort of focus on that too, because there was a lot of humor in the convoy too. There's a lot of funny
Right, the
stuff,
jerry
right?
cans?
Right.
The
Yeah.
jerry
Right.
cans. Yeah, was there.
The bouncy castle.
Yeah.
Street hockey.
But it's-
Street hockey. Let me ask you. Okay, so I come down here today just sort of catch up with you guys. It's been a while since I've seen you, and I don't know what's going on, and a lot of my viewers don't know what's going on. I read in the front page of the paper today that you guys are going to be allowed to stay here, so that's a really positive thing. Can you shed some light on that? Can you
So-
kind of bring us up to speed on the whole situation?
Well, basically, it's the landlord saying that that the United people of Canada have not paid the rent. It's the fact that they haven't been taking the rent check,
Exactly. Yeah. So.
and any of the monies that they've been trying to give to the landlord, they haven't been accepting it. So, and basically, it just seems there's a lot of pressure on people around here that don't like us, or people in Ottawa that don't like us. Because the fact is that there are people that are here from the convoy. We're not convoyers, Most of us are people that have either come back to Ottawa or have never left, but we're tradespeople and that sort of thing. Then we're all trying to come here to help this organization get it set.
Volunteers.
Yeah, we're volunteers.
Right.
And
so let's get this straight. So, what's your best guess as to why the owner is not taking the rent? Is probably because of complaints from people in town or something like that?
Pretty much what it seems to be, I would say. It's what it more seems to be, but it's also probably other things that are going on behind, a lot more other things going on. Like I know one of the things they're saying, we damaged the building. Well, the building as it is right now is the exact same way it was when the organizers, when William and Diane first stepped foot in it.
Yeah.
We haven't changed.
It's a little cleaner though.
We've cleaned it up, and like
There's been no damage.
Does vacuuming count and dusting?
exactly.
And scrubbing.
Yeah.
Right?
A little bit of painting,
Yeah. And there were some problems with the floor, right?
Yeah.
And the floor. So, just to be completely transparent, there were some pretty serious cracks in the floor, which were just patched. So I don't. So okay. So the owner is not taking the rent, and it seems like William has sorted that, or sort of.
Yeah, it's in the process of being sorted out. Hence why they have till the 19th, which is the next court date. So, and that's when they'll be discussing. When they'll be discussing it. Yes, we have
a wasp problem.
We're being accosted right now. These guys are putting up protesters and wasps. There's a lot of wasps around.
There's a lot of stinging going on.
Yeah.
Has anybody been stung?
No.
No. Okay.
No, just the germs.
Yeah. Right on. So that's pretty much where we were. Now that I was thinking what I'm going to do is bring my piano tools down here again and get back.
Yes,
Just the final tuning.
Yeah, I got to get back to tuning the piano.
We actually had a little fella. He's only
Jonah.
like Jonah. His name is Jonah. He's only like 4, and he fell in love with the piano. He's been down there playing it and singing, making up his own little songs with it.
Okay.
So I said maybe sometime if he's here when you're around, you might show him a few
tomorrow,
things. Yeah.
hopefully for the barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 to 4 o'clock. Come on
Okay.
down. Come on down if you can.
Yeah.
Barbecue tomorrow.
You guys have a barbecue here
Every Sunday,
Every
12
Sunday.
o'clock till 4 o'clock.
And greasy burgers, hot dogs.
Delicious.
And who's the chef? Who's the chef?
Pat usually.
Pat was last week, so
Yeah.
probably Pat again.
I don't know if you saw the pictures, but he had the flames too high and he singed his eyebrows. It was awesome.
Yeah. And he was having a grand old time doing it.
He was flipping burgers.
Yeah.
Right
he
on.
was dancing.
So yeah, I'm gonna bring my piano tools back this week, and we'll get back to doing things and moving forward. It sort of seems at this point that we've got some really good news. I'm gonna be able to stay here, so I'll get back to working on stuff and like positive stuff.
What did you say? We're allowed to stay here.
Well,
So we're not squatters.
I don't know.
We're not squatters.
We're not squatters.
No, not squatters. So we want to make that very clear. These guys have tried to pay the rent. They're not taking the rent. So that's what's really going on here. A lot of bad press.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of bad press. Everything's bad.
Well-
Nobody seems to want to talk about the actual problems that are happening with Ottawa right now. There's a lot of them, and we encountered a lot of them on the way down here. But
And for the record, no, I have not been arrested by a cop here yet.
And for the record, the water guns and the tinfoil crown, that was meant as comic relief.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And it worked.
it's just for fun, guys. It's just for
Right.
fun.
It was a pantomime.
Unfortunately, a few guys from the mainstream media got a little bit wet.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting though that how they left out the half-hour press conference right before.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know.
You could clearly see, if you know anything about editing, you could clearly see that it was edited. Like, they show right before the press conference, and then they show one of our people actually squirting with squirt guns.
And I never squirted anybody, so anyone who thinks that I was like, yeah. I was surprised. I was very shocked. I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. But I
So
did look good in my gumboots.
I saw pictures of you. Yeah, you look great. So what we'll do is we'll come back maybe midweek this week. I'll bring my tools. We'll hang out. We'll have some fun. We'll have some fun.
I'll wear a
And-
red dress and drape myself across the piano.
Right on. What about you? Are you going to wear a red dress?
No, I won't wear a red dress.
Yes, he will. No, he'll wear a zoot suit.
That'll get some real
Yeah, I'll wear
ratings.
my zoot suit. How's that?
I want to thank
Jazz hands.
I want to thank the two of you for spending the time with me today. I really appreciate your time.
Unfortunately, Raven's somewhere hiding in the dark.
fine.
He's
Well-
perched in a tower that
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's a busy guy. He's always working on stuff. So we'll catch up with you guys again. Good luck with everything. And I've got to get back and pick Jayla up and all that kind of stuff.
All
We're
right.
going to Calabogie
Thanks for
tonight.
having us. Plug our channels, okay?
Yep.
Come on, guys. Share the link.
Rosie Convoy and the Chad
Dead media.
Yeah.
in the person. He's still here. He's still
Yeah.
here.
Love
Guys,
you guys.
thank you so much, guys. We'll see you again
See you
at
later,
some point.
Scotty.
See ya. See you guys. We got this guy here. Take care, guys. Good to see you guys, eh? Yeah. We'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, have a good day.
Have a great
Where are
day.
you going?
I'm gonna go pick up my girl. She's playing down in the market. Oh shit! I think I forgot my sunglasses somewhere. My sunglasses in here? Oh, right there. Yeah. Right on, boys and girls. You take care, eh?
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.
Alrighty. I hope you guys enjoyed that little update with the United Peoples of Canada. There's Rosie's car right there. Things are going well out here. So I'm going to go back and maybe watch Jayla playing for a little bit. And we're on our way to Calabogie tonight. Oh, these cops are mean mugging me. Just mean mugging. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That was really fun to meet James Formosa. So I hope you really enjoyed that. And we'll maybe finish off with just a really nice, good look at the church here. Everything's going well. Everybody's happy here. So I'm going to come back now that the dispute's kind of sorted out. I'm going to come back and tune the piano. We'll get back into working on stuff. I'm going to fix the pipe organ. Going to fix the pianos here. I'll take you guys along for the ride for that. We'll learn how to fix pianos together. And yeah. Okie doke. So there may or may not be a live stream tonight. I'm not sure. We're up in the mountains. I gotta go pick Jayla up. She's playing, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna have service up there. So we may not have a Table 19 gig tonight. Not sure. Here we have the flags flying outside the church. Nice. We got the Canadian flag. We have Every Child Matters. We've got a Indigenous Canadian flag, and of course the United Peoples of Canada flag. And another look at the church there. Very, very ominous building. So let's just take a walk. Just take a walk back to where Jayla is. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the United Peoples of Canada? What do you guys think about that whole situation there? It's a fraternity of like-minded people. I don't see what the big problem is. A lot of people in Ottawa have a problem with them. I don't really see what the big deal is. Seem like friendly people to me. On the other hand, walking through the market is terrifying these days. There was a shooting down here. 3 people were shot last week, and those types of incidents are getting more and more frequent as time goes on. Look at this car here. Just have a nice little walk through the market here, and we'll check this chat section here. I'm gonna go get a Gatorade. How are you? Alrighty. Beautiful day here in Ottawa. She's a hot one. She's a scorcher. Walk through Clarence Street. We haven't been down here yet today. Come out in an hour. Brighton Sot says, "You out of Scotty, it's my 1-year anniversary of playing guitar. When are we going to jam?" Love to jam. Brightons. Love to jam. I'm very low on time. Allie Jenny coming in here. She says, "Happy long weekend, table 19. Choosy heretics, choose Grenadi. Wish I had known about the pinch of pink Himalayan salt in glass water first thing in the morning, earlier in life. Very empowering for staying hydrated." Northern Farm Girls coming in. She says it's 31 in Alberta. Andy Warrington, peace and love to all. 01 First comes in here. He said Trumpy Bear now comes with his own box of top secret government documents. Here we have this. We saw these a lot in the Convoy. These barricades. Very interesting. Super heavy duty steel. All right. Alrighty. I'm gonna let you guys go pretty soon here. We'll walk you over to where Jayla is real quick. Then I'll let you guys go. We might see you tonight. Maybe. Coming up into the heart of the ByWard market here. Got some nice crafts here, jewelry, some great handiwork by local vendors. Maybe we'll take a walk down here, enjoy some of this merchandise. Tie-dye extravaganza. These beautiful shirts. Wow. We got buttons. Hi. What are these?
They're wallets I make for wrappers.
You make wallets from wrappers? Wow. How do you do that? These are
I make them from the wrappers and chip bags.
okay, but how do you do that? Do you laminate
I
the?
have industrial machines and I protect the wrapper from both sides. Secret. Yeah,
Wow, I've never seen that before. This is incredible.
thank you.
So guys got to come down here. These are all wallets made from wrappers. Interesting. There's something you only see in Canada. Kit Kat. Wow.
Belts.
Oh, belts too.
Belts.
So, oh wow. Super cool. What do you guys think of this? We've got belts and wallets made from candy wrappers. Interesting. Oh, look at this. These are pencil cases. Wow, look at all these. Very cool. All chip bags. So cool. So cool. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Lots of cool crafts around here in the ByWard market. Some Canadian merchandise. Hi. Beautiful day down here. Oh, little puppy. Little puppy. Cutting boards. Wow, beautiful. Oh, unreal. Hi guys, how are you? Beautiful handiwork here. Some beautiful, beautiful work. All right. Alrighty. Here in the market square, ByWard Market, beautiful day. It's getting a little overcast now. And making our way back over to where Jayla's playing. All right. Everybody enjoying the market right now. Hope you guys are enjoying this walk. And thanks for hanging with you, Scotty, on your Saturday afternoon. This might be all you get from me today. And if you missed the live stream, we met up with James Formosa. And we talked to James for a better part of a half hour. That was very interesting. Some amazing artwork happening all over the place. A lot of wasps around. That's where Jayla is, at the Clock Tower Brew Club. So I'm gonna let you guys go pretty soon here. What does this say? We have some writing on the ground here. It says, you have a dirty politician. Google. I don't know what that says. GazyCon. All right. Across the road here. Guys, it's been a really fun live stream. I really enjoyed hanging out with you this afternoon. Thanks for chilling with you, Ottawa Scotty. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you enjoyed that. We're gonna go meet up with Jayla. We might see you later on today. You, Ottawa Scotty, signing out. Big thanks to Northern Farm Girl for moderating the chat. Thank you so much. Big shout outs to Northern Farm Girl. As always, best moderator on the net. And so, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you very shortly. You, Ottawa Scotty, signing out. See you soon.